Welcome to the Ad Expert Podcast.
It's fantastic to be here.
You know, I was looking at my calendar this morning, and I had this moment of just pure dread.
Oh, I know that feeling.
It's that feeling every single content creator or marketer knows. You just finished a massive project, right? Maybe a huge blog post, and you feel good for about 5 minutes.
And then it hits you.
Oh no, I have to feed the beast again tomorrow.
The content treadmill. It's relentless.
It really is. It feels like you're a short order cook in a diner that just never, ever closes. You serve one meal, 5 more tickets pop up. And I think for so many of our listeners, whether they're, running a small business in Los Angeles or managing a marketing team, that burnout is so real.
It is. It's the classic trap. We equate activity with productivity. We think if we aren't churning out something totally new from scratch every single day, we're failing.
But that mindset is just incredibly inefficient.
Totally inefficient.
Which is why I am genuinely excited about today's deep dive. We're looking at a strategy that basically says, stop running, slow down, look at what you've already made.
We're talking about content repurposing.
Exactly. And this isn't just about being lazy or, cutting corners.
No, not at all. It's about leverage. Strategic visibility.
That's the word, leverage. We are unpacking a guide titled Maximizing Digital Reach Through Strategic Content Repurposing. It's written by Sam Ahrefs.
Dated January 30, 2026. And we're also going to look at the agency behind this thinking ad expert to really understand how they apply this stuff in the real world.
Right. So the mission for today is to help you, the listener, understand how to transform a single asset, something you've already poured hours into a multi-platform engine.
An engine that specifically drives SEO and ad performance.
I call it squeezing the juice.
That's a perfect analogy. You buy a lemon, you don't just look at it. You zest it, you juice it, maybe you even plant the seeds. You get every last drop out of it.
Okay, so let's start with the basics before we get into the tactical stuff. When the source talks about content repurposing, what are we actually defining here?
That's a great question. Because I think some people hear that and think, oh, I just copy-paste my Facebook post onto LinkedIn.
Which is just cross-posting. That's different.
It's very different. The source defines repurposing much more strategically. It's about adaptation.
Adaptation. I like that.
It's taking an existing asset, like a long blog post, a video, a podcast, and transforming it into a completely new format to fit a different context.
So it's a metamorphosis. It's the caterpillar becoming the butterfly.
Or the caterpillar becoming a butterfly, and then a bird, and then a plane. You're changing the form to suit the environment. And the why here is, well, it's crucial. The guide highlights 3 main benefits.
Okay.
Saving time, obviously, reaching a wider audience, and keeping your content evergreen.
I want to double click on that wider audience point, because I think we all just assume that if we publish something, everyone who follows us sees it.
That is the biggest fallacy in marketing. I mean, think about your own habits. You might love reading 2,000-word deep dive articles.
I do.
But your neighbor, they might only consume information through like 60-second video clips on their phone while they're waiting for coffee. If you only write the article, you are completely invisible to your neighbor.
That is such a good point. You're speaking different languages. The language of Google is text. The language of TikTok is video. The language of Instagram is visual.
Precisely. And by repurposing, you are translating your core message into all those different native languages. You aren't saying something new. You're just saying the same important thing in a way that different people can actually hear.
And then there's the evergreen aspect. This is the holy grail, right?
It really is. I mean, a social media post is so ephemeral. You post it and 3 hours later, poof, it's buried.
Gone.
But evergreen content, things like tutorials, how-to guides, detailed analyses, that stuff has a shelf life of years if you treat it right. And the source argues that repurposing is the absolute best way to keep that content alive.
It's like leftovers. Sometimes the stew tastes even better on the second day.
If you add some fresh spices, absolutely.
Okay, so we're sold on the philosophy. It saves time, it expands reach. Now I want to get into the nuts and bolts. The guide lays out some really specific strategies. Let's start with the heavy lifter, the blog post.
Right, this is usually the anchor for most content and SEO strategies. You've done the research, you've written maybe 1,500 words, it's dense. The strategy here is decomposition.
Decomposition. Sounds a bit grim, but go on.
Think of it as breaking a boulder into pebbles. The source suggests taking that one big article and fracturing it. You break it into smaller individual pieces for social media.
So you don't just share the link.
You never just share the link. You extract the value from within it. So if you have, say, 5 main points in your article,
Each of those becomes its own post.
exactly. Each of those 5 points becomes a standalone social post. Maybe you pull out a controversial quote and make it a text graphic for LinkedIn. Maybe you take a statistic you cited and turn it into a little chart for Instagram.
So you're giving them the snatch version of the meal.
Snackable content
Mm-hmm.
is the term, yes. You entice them with the snack. If they want the full meal, great, they can click through to the blog. But even if they don't, they still engaged with your brand. They still got value.
I love that. Now let's flip the script. What about us audio folks? We're sitting here recording a podcast. Google can't really listen to this, can it?
Not effectively, no. And this is a huge missed opportunity for so many podcasters. The source suggests what they call a reverse engineering process.
Okay.
You take this audio and you transcribe it.
As simple as that.
Well, you clean it up. You turn the transcript into a structured, readable blog post. You add headers, keywords, pull quotes. Suddenly, this entire conversation is indexable by Google.
Wow.
We are capturing organic traffic from people searching for content repurposing strategies who might never, ever listen to a podcast.
That is genius. It's literally turning air into solid ground for SEO.
It is. And you can take it even further. The guide talks a lot about video, specifically YouTube Shorts.
Oh, shorts are massive right now. I feel like I lose an hour of my life every night just scrolling through them.
You are not alone. The attention span economy is very, very real. So the source explicitly advises repurposing longer videos, like a webinar or a video version of this, into shorts.
It's that snackable concept again.
Exactly. Some people want the 45-minute deep dive. Others just want the 60-second highlight reel. By cutting up your long video, you're serving both audiences. You maximize the ROI on all that filming time.
So efficient. Now, I want to bring up one specific format the text mentioned that I feel is just criminally underused: case studies.
Yes.
Usually a business will write a case study, stick it on a success stories page on their website, and then that's it. Nothing. It just gathers dust.
It's a marketing tragedy. The text argues that a well-written case study is one of the most versatile assets you could possibly have. It's proof. It's proof that you can do what you say you can do.
So how do we repurpose that?
You don't just leave it as a PDF, for one. You turn the problem and solution section into its own blog post. You interview the client from the case study and make it a podcast episode.
Oh, that's smart.
You take the results, stats like we increased sales by 50%, and you make that a huge, bold graphic for all your social media.
It's social proof, but tailored for every platform.
Exactly. It builds trust, and trust is what drives conversions.
Speaking of graphics, the guide has a whole section on visuals. Create visual content from written content.
This is so critical for local search visibility, which is a real specialty of AdExpert. Visuals are highly, highly shareable. I mean, people are far more likely to share an infographic or a chart than they are to share a giant wall of text.
That makes sense. If I see a cool chart, I'll send it to a friend. I'm probably not going to send them a 3,000-word essay unless I, really hate them.
Exactly. And that shareability sends powerful signals to search engines. It says, hey, this content is valuable, people are interacting with it, and that boosts your SEO.
Okay, so we have the strategy. We know how to turn a blog into a video or a video into a blog. But I can hear the listener asking a very practical question right now.
How do I decide what to repurpose?
Exactly. Do I just pick a random blog post from 2022?
That would be the blind approach.
Mm.
And if there's one thing AdExpert emphasizes in all this material, it's that we need to stop flying blind. We need to be data-driven.
So they recommend tools for this.
They do. To identify what to repurpose, they point directly to Ahrefs.
Ahrefs is the heavy hitter for SEO data.
It is. And the strategy is actually simple but incredibly powerful. You use Ahrefs to look at your own site. You identify your top-performing content, what is already driving organic traffic, what is already getting the clicks.
So you bet on the winning horse. You don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Precisely. If a topic is already resonating with your audience, that is a huge signal. You double down. You take that winning blog post and you make the video, the infographic, the podcast. Don't waste time repurposing content that fell flat the first time.
That's a great rule of thumb. Amplify success. Don't try to resurrect the dead.
Correct. And once you've identified the winner, the guide mentions Canva for the actual creation phase.
Canva is a lifesaver. It basically democratized design for the rest of us.
It did. It means you don't need a degree in graphic design to turn your blog quotes into really nice Instagram tiles. It removes the friction.
And finally, the feedback loop. How do we know if any of this is actually working?
Google Analytics. You have to track it. The source emphasizes monitoring the conversion rates on your repurposed content. Is that new video actually driving sales? Is the infographic bringing in leads? You need that data.
Right. I want to circle back to something you mentioned about signals to search engines. The outline explicitly brings up link building. Now, usually when I hear link building, I get a headache. I just think of cold emailing strangers, begging them for a link.
The worst.
But the source says repurposing actually helps with this naturally.
It does, and the text calls this an often overlooked benefit. Here's the logic. A random website or blog is probably not going to link to your product sales page. It's too commercial.
Right, they have no incentive to do that. Nobody wants to look like they're just shilling for you.
Exactly. But what if you repurpose your internal data or that case study into a really high-quality infographic or a comprehensive state-of-the-industry report?
Then they might link to that because it adds real value to their readers.
Bingo. Different formats appeal to different publishers. A visual blog will love your infographic. A news site might quote your white paper. By diversifying your formats, you increase the surface area for luck. You give people more reasons to link back to you.
And those backlinks are the currency of SEO.
They are. They build your domain authority. They tell Google you're a trusted source. And this ties right back to that evergreen concept we talked about. You build an asset, you polish it, you distribute it, and it just keeps paying you back in traffic and authority over time.
It's the difference between spending and investing. Spending is a one-time social post that just disappears. Investing is building an asset ecosystem.
That is a perfect way to frame it.
Okay, so we've covered the what, the how, and the why. I want to shift gears now to the who, because this advice isn't coming from a vacuum. It's coming from AdExpert. And looking at their About Us profile, there are some really interesting details here.
Right. AdExpert is a Los Angeles-based online marketing and web development agency. And I actually think that Los Angeles-based part is pretty relevant.
Why does the geography matter? I mean, the internet is global, isn't it?
It is, but the source highlights that they specialize in the local market. Marketing has microclimates. The way people search for services in Los Angeles, the keywords they use, the time of day they search, their intent, it might be totally different from how they search in New York or London.
That's true. The competition is completely different, too.
Exactly. So having an agency that deeply understands the specific trends and data of your physical location is just invaluable for local SEO.
And they aren't exactly new to the game, are they?
No. The profile mentions they have over a decade of experience. In internet years, that's basically a century. It implies they've survived multiple Google algorithm updates, they've seen trends come and go, and they're still standing.
Let's put some faces to the name. The guide introduces us to two key figures. First, we have the author of the article, Sam Ahrefs.
Sam is the founder and marketing strategist. The profile notes he has over 10 years of experience in both local and e-commerce marketing. So he's the one bridging that gap between brick-and-mortar thinking and digital sales thinking. He really gets the strategy side.
And then we have the technical counterweight, Ehsan Nabovari.
Right. Ehsan is introduced as the expert in SEO and professional analytics. And his role is described as being dedicated to staying current.
Which is a full-time job in itself.
It really is. In a field where AI is changing the rules every single week, having someone whose entire job is to watch the horizon for new tech and trends is absolutely crucial.
And looking at their service list, it's pretty comprehensive. They're covering Google Ads, SEO, social media, web development for WordPress, and Shopify. It's the full stack.
It is. But what stands out to me isn't just what they do, but how they describe doing it. We need to talk about their methodology, specifically on data and AI.
Yes. This part got me excited. The source mentions real-time marketing insights.
This is a major differentiator. Think about the traditional agency model. Usually, reporting is retroactive. You get a PDF at the end of the month saying, hey, that ad campaign we ran 3 weeks ago, yeah, it didn't work. Sorry.
Which is so infuriating because the money is already gone. You can't unspend it.
Exactly. AdExpert emphasizes a bird's-eye view with live tracking. This allows for data-driven decisions while the campaign is running.
So you can pivot.
You can pivot immediately. If an ad isn't working on Tuesday, you kill it on Wednesday. You don't wait for the end of the month. It maximizes your ROI because you're constantly optimizing based on what's happening right now.
That's the difference between steering the ship and just watching the wake behind you.
I love that analogy. And they combine this real-time data with competitor analysis. So they're not just guessing. They're looking at what's already working for your competitors and adapting from there.
Now we have to talk about the elephant in the room. The source has a section titled Unleashing the Power of AI. Everyone is talking about AI, but how are they actually using it?
It seems to go much deeper than just, writing captions. They describe using AI for customer targeting and personalized marketing campaigns.
Targeting is everything.
It is. And AI is incredibly good at pattern recognition. It can analyze huge amounts of data to find the specific people who are most likely to convert. It just removes the guesswork from who is my customer and finds them with precision.
But they do talk about the writing side, too. I noticed they describe their copywriting as precise and data-driven.
This is an important distinction.
Yeah.
They aren't just writing creative copy for the sake of being clever. They're focusing on meeting Google's algorithm requirements. The source mentions using relevant semantic keywords.
Okay, semantic keywords. Let's unpackage that. That sounds a little like marketing jargon.
It's actually a really cool concept. In the old days of SEO, if you wanted to rank for pizza, you just stuffed the word pizza into your article 50 times.
And it read like a robot wrote it. Buy our pizza. We love pizza. Pizza's good.
Exactly. And Google got smart. Now Google looks for context. Semantic just means related meaning. So if you're writing about pizza, Google now expects to see words like crust, sauce, oven, delivery, toppings, and slice.
Ah, I see. It's the whole universe of the topic.
It's the whole ecosystem of words around the topic. And Ad Expert's approach is to write in a way that uses this semantic vocabulary. It signals to Google, hey, we thoroughly understand this topic. And that boosts your online visibility.
So it's writing for humans, but engineered for the robots.
Ideally, yes, it's finding that perfect balance where the reader gets value and the algorithm gets the signals it needs to rank you.
And they wrap all this up with a promise of transparency. Awesome reporting is the phrase they use.
Which, if you've ever worked with an agency, you know is rare. Sometimes it feels like your money just goes into a black box. Transparency builds trust. It allows for that open communication.
So let's zoom out. We've looked at the strategy of content repurposing. We've looked at the tools like Ahrefs and Canva. We've looked at the agency, Ad Expert, and their data-driven, AI-integrated approach. What is the synthesis here?
I think the connection is really clear. It's all about efficiency and leverage. Repurposing content is a key component of the kind of data-driven success that agencies like Ad Expert advocate for.
It's about working smarter, not just harder.
It is. Whether you're a local business in LA or a global brand, the key is to stop churning out new content blindly. Use the data, find what works, and then use strategies like repurposing to squeeze every single ounce of value out of those winning assets.
Don't just be busy, be effective.
Exactly. Make every piece of content work hard for you.
That is solid advice. Before we sign off, I want to leave the listener with something to think about. We talked about how Ad Expert is using AI for targeting and optimization. But if we think about the repurposing workflow itself.
I think I see where you're going with this.
Right now, we use tools like Canva, but it's still pretty manual, right?
Yeah.
We're manually rewriting a blog into a script. But if AI keeps advancing, how long until it revolutionizes that specific workflow?
It's the logical next step. Imagine feeding a single blog post into an AI and having it automatically generate the podcast script.
Wow.
Cut the YouTube short from your video file, design the infographic, and schedule them all perfectly optimized with those semantic keywords in seconds.
That would be a complete game changer.
It would be the ultimate realization of the entire strategy we discussed today.
Yeah.
Automation meeting creativity.
It might also put us out of a job, but let's not dwell on that part right now.
You hope not.
On that slightly terrifying but exciting note, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the Ad Expert ecosystem. It's been a fascinating look at how to maximize our digital reach.
It was my pleasure.
And thank you to you, the listener. Go squeeze some juice out of that content. We'll see you next time.